We need to talk.
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 Welcome back to another episode of We Need to Talk podcast. I'm MR.KOA alongside
Top Boy.
And we got a guest. I think is this our first guest of 2020?
It is.
It is.
Because of COVID, yes, it
Our
is.
first guest of
Our first
2020 on the podcast. This is cool. We had some offline talk before you got this started. We may jump into it, but yeah, before we go any further, tell us about yourself. I know you're Zamor's friend, but I don't really know you personally. So who are you? What do you do? What do you like? And how do you feel about this new reality we're in right now?
That was a lot of questions.
It is.
My name's Felicia. I am a mental health counselor by day, but do a lot of other things. Running is my main sport. What else did you ask me about?
What do you do? Who are you? What do you do? What do you like? What things do you like? What kind of things do you like?
I love running.
Running? What
Yes.
else?
Do you actually?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love running, but I love running.
Mm.
If that makes any sense?
No, it doesn't. Okay.
Okay. I actually love competing.
Right. Competitor.
Yeah.
Athlete?
Yep.
Former athlete or
Yep.
current?
All of the above. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself an athlete now.
Okay.
But I definitely run with a team. So technically an athlete.
Has it only been running? Like your
Yeah.
So track, that kind of stuff?
Yep.
What kind of running?
Long distance. Not into the marathons,
Mm-hmm.
but 5Ks are my sweet spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any medals in your like
I mean, yeah.
what kind?
Who doesn't?
Lots of people. I don't have a running medal.
Really?
No.
Okay. After every single race that you do,
They give you a
every
medal.
single one, you get a medal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like I'm like stacked
Well, I mean, I'm
on
not.
medals.
I'm also not in races. I guess like
Yeah.
kind of. And how do you feel about this new reality we're in right now? I mean, the new normal, as people like to call it. But yeah, like how has quarantine treated you? How have you treated quarantine? And what are your thoughts transitioning out of this somewhat moving forward?
Honestly, quarantine, I'm super privileged to have had a pretty good quarantine. The first couple months were honestly really awesome. I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like my world was just going too fast, and so I needed things to slow down, and that's exactly what happened with quarantine. The new reality, I mean, it had to happen. I feel like wearing masks and all that kind of stuff is necessary right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't be forever, but I think until we have like a better understanding of this kind of what's going on, then we just got to do it.
We had a question last week, which everyone answered in the comments, and Zomor and I both answered on the podcast, but actually having you here to answer in person, you can join in that conversation. What is the biggest thing you have learned personally during the quarantine for yourself?
Ooh, that's a big question. I think the biggest thing I learned was that I wasn't spending enough time with my family, but I guess that's more of like it's not necessarily personal.
No, that could be something personal
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Like you realized how much or how little you're spending with your family.
Yeah.
That's absolutely important.
And that would be it.
Did you, after realizing that, did you make any changes though?
Oh yeah. Like
Okay. What were your changes? In comparison to what you were doing before, what are your changes now?
I just am more mindful about the time that I'm spending outside of the home versus inside of the home.
Mm-hmm.
More mindful of especially my mom. Like if she wants to do something, before I'd be like, hey, let me see if I can. No, like she's my mom. We're doing it. If you want to do it, we're doing it.
Okay.
So just making time. And
What made you get to this revelation in your mind?
how much time we were spending together and how awkward it felt that we were spending so much time together at the beginning of quarantine.
And you didn't want it to feel awkward. Or shouldn't have felt awkward.
I was like, why does it feel so awkward for me to be spending this much time with my family? It
Right.
shouldn't be like that.
Mm-hmm.
So just prioritizing family and noticing that that's something I needed to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll jump into the question we had today. I came up with this question because I'm currently in the middle of shooting a documentary. Well, I'm done and I'm completing a documentary, but in the documentary, there was a dynamic that I found rather interesting. I think I might have mentioned it on the podcast before. We talked about it before?
No, you actually haven't gone
haven't?
into it too much. No.
So the dynamic is pretty strange. Strange because it's just not the typical dynamic. Not strange because it's not allowed to happen, but there are two adopted kids, mixed kids, biracial kids, that were adopted by two white gay men. So two dads, essentially. I'm all for, gay people wanting to have kids, and obviously they can't have kids naturally, so they have to adopt. But there are a number of obstacles that these kids are now going to be faced with based on the dynamic these parents have chosen for them. One of which, both the parents are white, and they're adopting mixed race, which are essentially black kids. Another issue, Stratford is the city that they're in. Stratford is a very white city, not a lot of black kids, not a lot of black people in general, not a lot of black culture or anything of the sort in that city entirely. So there's going to be an identity crisis at some point, if not already, with those kids. They're 12 and 14 respectively.
Yeah.
Two dads. Homosexuality is obviously normalized now, but having homosexual parents as the only parents that you have and the only parents is gonna make things difficult for two boys, growing up. Like, not to have a mother figure, to have not only two father figures, but two gay father figures is gonna be their experience is gonna be different than, heterosexual parents. And, people who think homosexuality is a choice, I don't believe it's a choice. It doesn't make any sense to choose to be gay.
Yeah.
But I do believe, especially as kids, if you don't really know, like, what your sexuality is at that point, like, this will definitely lean you somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't necessarily want it to, if that's, kids are a product of habit and what they see and what they're around, the environment. So, they may naturally like little girls or whatever, but if they're around gay men and they only know about two dads and their dads, I don't know what the dads do in the house, whatever. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I'm sure the kids are aware that I have two dads as parents, and that may not be a normal dynamic for them to tell their friends, and maybe they're shy to tell their. I don't know, but it creates a complication for these kids already, especially being adopted. The question I asked though was pertaining to strictly not their homosexuality, but the act of whites and adopting black children, and it's interesting because I'm not gonna say it's popular, but I do know that there is a commonality of white families wanting to adopt little black kids, whether they're in Africa and they're underprivileged, and they can sponsor them, can bring them, like, they have this enjoyment of saving the black kid. And I get it. I'm all for giving a kid an opportunity and a better life. And Zamora and I were talking about this prior to the podcast, and it's like, it's tough because the benefit is they can provide a better life than what they were having. They have the financial resources, they have a home, they have this, but adopting is much more than just putting a kid in the house, right? These are not pets, these are kids. Not only are they kids, they're black kids. So my perspective is that the question was, paraphrase, I can't remember word for word, but should white people be able to adopt black kids? And if yes or no, if so, if yes, should there be some rules applied or something they have to do to basically prove that they can have these kids? And I believe absolutely, because, and I don't think they're in place. Truthfully, I don't know. You might know more in the industry, but I don't think there actually are strict rules in place that when you're adopting a black kid, you're making the parent aware, like, this is going to come with a different responsibility than getting a white kid. Are you aware of that? I don't think that actually happens, but what's your perspective on that? And we'll get into some people's responses because it's very interesting.
I mean, so I should start off by saying that I've been working in child welfare for a long time now. Well, I wouldn't say a long time, at least 5 years.
Long enough.
And this is a conversation that we always have, me and my colleagues that I'm close to. And my perspective on it is that there isn't enough things in place to know if a family is ready or able to care for black children.
Right.
The other issue is that I'm sure you guys have seen floating around the articles about how much of an overrepresentation of black kids there is in our child welfare system in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So that's a big issue, which leads families to choosing, like, if there's 10 kids that need to be adopted, 9 of them are black youth, which is unfortunate. In terms of the actual things that are going on inside the home, and if there capable, like as a child welfare worker, there's this thing called a plan of care. And so in the plan of care, you break down like what the kids are doing, you set goals for them, and these are the outcomes. That's when they're being fostered.
Right.
Yeah.
And in there's a cultural component that says like, what is this family doing to, I guess,
like due diligence kind of thing?
yeah, like
Yeah.
what are they cooking them the foods from their culture? Are they taking them where they need to go to learn more about their culture? Like, you have to prove as a foster parent that you're going above and beyond to provide what this kid would typically get at home if they could. But when you adopt a kid, those things fall out of place because you're looked at as, okay, this is now going to be this kid's permanent home. So there's not someone, once you adopt the kids, basically that's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's not someone asking like, what are you doing to go above and beyond?
No one's monitoring.
No one's monitoring
yeah.
you. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these kids, like if you were to follow up, I know 2 kids that I used to work with, they ended up moving out of the home, and this isn't to say this is everyone's experience, but because they felt like there was a lack of understanding for their culture. They felt that one specific youth was turning 18 and he was cooking food in the home, and they didn't like the smell of the food in the home, and so they made a big deal about it, made it very uncomfortable for him. And so that alone was like, okay, well, now what? You know, like, so now I have to find somewhere else to cook the food that I should be, like, I would naturally be getting at home anyways, you know? Like, there's so many aspects to it.
Layers.
But at the end of the day, like, there really needs to be more of a thorough, I guess, assessment of these families that are adopting these Black youth and saying, like, what really honestly and truly are you going to do? But at the end of the day, like, I could sit there and be like, yeah, I'm going to cook them every meal from their culture. I'm going to bring them to different museums to learn about their culture. I'm going to integrate them into communities where their culture is like prevalent. But I could just say that.
You could just say that.
You know, like,
who's checking? Who's enforcing?
Exactly. Exactly. So,
What's your perspective, Z?
I mean, like we talked about it earlier. I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword because a lot of these kids or children or even, you know, teenagers that are getting adopted, I'd like to think they're going to homes that can provide them a better life than what they currently had. And, you know, I kind of have some experience with it because of my older brother, right? Like he is a foster parent, but it's for he fosters teenage boys who are like at the end of the line, essentially. Like, if he can't get them to fix their shit before they go to like their forever home, they're probably going to they're going to jail or they're going to juvenile hall or whatever it is, right? So you kind of see like how the system shuffles these kids around, and you know, it gets to a point where you always see some sort of family adopt them and hope that they're just going to provide them a better life than what they had. And that almost,
like, the standards is just so low.
yeah, and that almost trumps all the other things that they need,
Yeah.
right? So it is a really difficult situation. I think that there absolutely does need to be some sort of guidelines in place. The big thing that I didn't think about is the fact that, you know, once someone is adopted, there is no
enforcement.
There's no constant check-in like there is when you're a foster parent. You know, like as a foster parent, my brother, there's certain things he can't even do or like say because it literally goes against guidelines that are in place.
Because there's still rules for that.
Like a kid could actually do something super fucked up in the house, and if it was like me that did that fucked up thing, my brother would either like yell at me or he'd probably like fight me. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. But as a foster parent, you can't even like yell at these kids sometimes, right? Like, that's how much they clamp down on you. But they're not doing that when you're adopting a child. Right. So it is very problematic, I think, when you know, children are getting adopted to families that aren't a part of the same culture. and it's across the board, right? Like we see a lot of Asian kids getting adopted by white families too, and it's like, what kind of dynamic does that create as well? It's across the board. The problem is, how do you exactly go about fixing it? I think you touched on it. It's probably actually trying to enforce those guidelines into adoption. It's just,
There's too much freedom.
do you think there'd be a lot of pushback on something like that?
Of course.
If people were saying like there needs to be more.
Of course, because they like a lot of these parents will feel like I want to parent how I want to parent, and it only perpetuates the situation we're in right now. Because how do you convince somebody that their parenting isn't good enough when they don't even believe or understand what a child like that even has to go through?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like how do I tell you that this kid needs to experience this, and he looked at differently by police, and he has to understand the difference. Like, how do I explain it to someone who's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking? That's my kid. No, he's fine.
Yeah.
Please treat him fine. No, they don't. Like they don't, and they won't. Oh yeah, they will. It's my son. Like, how are we like? You don't even understand.
Yeah.
So how do I explain to you what your kid's gonna have to deal with when you yourself don't even have to deal with or understand at that level?
Yeah.
How can I now teach you to teach him about something that you don't even believe exists?
Yeah.
Well, even like my mom's white, and my dad is black.
Yeah.
She's married to a black man, has a black child. And she more recently just admitted that like she doesn't even understand what I experience day to day, or what her husband experiences day to day.
She never had to actually think about it.
Exactly. And like I came out of that woman. Like she has seen me from birth. She's seen me go through some really scary racist stuff. And so for a parent who I am the biological child, her child, to not even fully understand that, because she never will, 'cause she won't have to experience that herself. It's a huge ask to think that these parents...
How are you going to tell families to start doing that?
But that's such an interesting point, because I had the same conversation with Jamie the other day about, like, let's say there's a future where her and I had kids. Her and I are going to have, like, two very different experiences with the children.
Yeah.
But, like, there was something I've realized that I never thought about, and it's the fact that, obviously I know the kids are going to grow up with a certain level of struggle that she never had to deal with, but the kids are also going to grow up with a certain level of privilege that I never had.
Being mixed.
And it's like, I always only ever thought about the struggle that she's not going to be related to.
But the privilege that
I was like, oh shit, like these kids might actually have like some privilege that I don't even know like exists to me, like how that works. So there's always some level of dynamic that people don't entirely see, and it does help being able to have firsthand experience of it. On the flip side, it's kind of interesting, like if you were to meet like adoptive parents who off the bat were just like, I know that I'm not going to be able to like experience the same things that this child is going to experience, like all these things, but if you knew that they were going to put in the work, it almost seems like those parents might actually do a better job than some parents who are of the same background, because I've seen it. Like I've seen people who are parented by like black people, parented by black people, that everything is just what's the phrase? Everything is basically, it goes without saying.
Right.
This is how it is. But like I've seen people who are like, listen, I don't know shit because I'm not from your background,
right.
But because I'm not from your background, it means I have to actually put in a lot more work than most people do.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes it's not enough. But it's like, what else can you do at that point?
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's very true. I knew this would start a discussion. I didn't realize. I didn't even check back into this for a while. When I made this post, I knew there'd be a discussion. I didn't realize how in depth people would get, and I'm actually impressed. I'm glad people have some real in depth opinions, not just a yes or no. I'll read a couple and then we can kind of discuss. This one's from Kyle, who's a white guy. I know him personally.
McLaren,
yeah. He said, a lot of times, usually, white families who adopt non-white kids don't have a clue how to educate those kids on their own background, and oftentimes leaves the kid feeling without a true identity since they are disconnected from their parents. Having dated in this community before, I've seen the difference from someone adopted of the same race background and someone adopted to just white parents. It's night and day. Interesting. Another one we can say... from the reset, my first inclination would be to say no, they shouldn't be able to adopt. We've seen all too well how out of touch the majority of people who aren't black can be, even those who are allies. Yet there's nuance, so there will be questions. How have these parents been cultured? Is there black representation within their innermost circle? It takes a village to raise a child, so what village are they bringing this child into? How do they intend to educate the adopted child on what it means to be black? How are they actively dismantling the oppression of black people specifically? How will they equip the child to navigate overt and subverted racism? Can they teach them the difference? Are anecdotes as effective as accounts of lived experiences? How will they comfort that child throughout their lifetime whenever they face shattering experiences due to the color of their skin? I'm going to pause there for a second. Those are great questions, but how does someone even do that who's white? How does someone even do any... Like, I agree with those questions, but I'm like... How do these actually happen? Because these do need to happen.
But like,
how did these actually happen?
I think one of the points that they brought where it says like it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
I think off bat, like that is a big point right there, right? Because
it's not just not the parent. Like they need to bring them around.
Because I don't even know if when a child is getting adopted, they look into
the friends of the family.
Like who else is like affiliated, who they're gonna be seeing. I don't know if anything's, and it's tough to like do the whole friend thing.
Speculate, yeah.
But if I'm gonna like put it like this, when you go to the States to go do work, but you don't want them to know you're doing work, because they'll fucking tax you like crazy. What do most people in our industry do? They just hide their shit on social media. They say they don't have, because you've been through customs. They're like, what are you doing here for work? Those people at the border, like they'll take the time out of their day to go creep your shit, to see like, what does he actually do?
100%.
Who's he surrounded with? Like all this stuff. I don't even know if they're doing that when it comes to adoptive agencies.
Like really checking people's circles.
Because personally, like, I'm not saying that the bar is this low, but let's say I'm at the adoptive agency and this white family comes in and they say, we want to adopt a child, and they see all the kids that are there, right? And like, as Philly was saying, most of them are black, so chances are they're going to adopt a black kid. Well, if it's me, I'm probably going to look into who they hang out with.
You specifically would do that.
Yeah, I would have to do that. Because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I understand you might have a good heart and you want to adopt someone because it's like the right thing to do.
He's not just coming into your
but
family.
It's not just your family. I know what it's like to like live in an area where it's very diverse, a lot of black people, and then I know what it's like to live in an area where you're the only black person around all white people. And like sometimes it feels like you're in the twilight zone. Like it doesn't it's not a conducive environment for your mental health, because like you're always playing some sort of role.
You're the only representation of yourself.
Right?
That is, I've never heard someone put it like that.
Yeah, like you're playing a role because
so true.
You like every black person knows what it's like to basically be the ambassador for your entire race. At some point you've done it, whether it's work, whether it's school, some workplace, like whatever it is, you've done it. But when you're living in an environment where you can't leave, it's like
you're stuck.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
I grew up in Thunder Bay. I know that all too well.
Dude, like oh my god, I've actually never told this story. Like when my parents first moved to where they live now, Mississauga Road, right? My next door neighbors, like super cool. Like I love them to this day. Mad cool, right? And they have 3 girls, all way younger than us, right? Like, except now 2 of them like graduated university. One of them is just going into it. But when I moved there, they were like tiny. And they're like, hey, you guys come over for a pool, like come enjoy the pool party. So all right, cool. We go over, me and my brother are there, and we're in the pool, and all of us, like me, my brother, and these girls are like playing with one of those pool noodles or some shit like that. And one of the little girls, she must have been like 3 or 4 at the time, was just like, she's like, no brown hands on the noodle. Like she was like trying to wrestle, and she did. The thing is, she didn't say it in like a mean way.
What she was observing.
What she was observing.
Yeah, like.
But then the mother was just like, scolded her, right? She was like, "What do you?" She was talking to her like she was a grown person.
It's a kid.
She was like, "It's like, what are you doing? Like, why would you say that?" Right? And it was like kind of interesting to see.
But that's what she observed.
Yeah,
brown heads.
That's what she saw,
on
right?
the noodle.
But I think the mom recognized, like,
that she might have said something like that.
No, it's not that the mom, because my mom and like that woman are like very tight,
okay.
Right? And they've had conversations about all sorts of things race related. But I think the woman at that time realized, like, she's like, my daughters actually aren't around a lot of black people.
Oh, you're actually new.
She's like, you're new, so it's like I need to let them know right now that this isn't like something you just call out like that. Like it should just be normal.
Brown heads.
Yeah, you know what I mean? but it's like, yeah,
that's a podcast episode.
But take it
brown heads.
But taking that example, it's like you plot a kid into a scenario like that is going to be weird.
Yeah, it's strange.
Imagine, like, I'm quite sure
even if you reverse it, you adopt a black kid into a white only neighborhood. He's like, what the hell? like he's like looking at him saying, what? Why do I look like this?
Like what's
especially
going on?
I didn't know I was black until like we moved to Toronto, which was in grade 12.
Yeah.
I genuinely had I didn't understand why people were bullying me in high school about my skin color.
You.
Yeah.
I've heard that story time and time again from mixed race women and guys, where you guys are in this limbo stage, right? And that's, we're obviously, dealing with a lot right now, race related, but there's a portion of this fight that gets attested to the limbo. People, like the mixed race people who don't really, they're too light to be dark, too light to be black, too dark to be white people. So they're kind of like, am I against one of my parents because they're white? Am I fighting with the black side because so I know there's a weird stage for people like you and other mixed race people where they're kind of like, as a baseline you're considered black, because as long as there's pigment in you, you're black, and that's what you're looked at. But that's on the surface level, but on the deeper level, like within the black community, there's like, we know you're mixed, like like other people are like, oh, she's just black though, and then there's like the nether level where like, I know you're mixed.
But then there's another level where it's like, we know you're mixed, but when shit goes down, you're definitely black.
Yes.
Sure.
Like, they're gonna look at you like you're black.
Time out though. Hold on. Yes and no, because it depends how you represent yourself as a mixed girl. Because there are guy, or guy, we're talking or mixed person. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because then there's also the level where it's like, you are considered black, but you don't support anything black, and your whole identity and your whole belief system is white surrounding. So it's like,
hashtag whitewashed.
I don't even know like how to navigate with you. So it's kind of like when you're getting support whatever from mixed race people that don't identify with any black culture until now, you're like, whoa, like what? Like,
that's facts.
You are black, but you've never like ever stood up for that black side until right now. So now this is weird. Like now you're just jumping on. Now this is weird. Like I know you're black, but you've never done this. So now this is weird. Right. And now it's kind of like you're doing this because you can choose, and that's a very dangerous position. The fact that they have a choice, right? And that's where this conversation gets very difficult, because I made a couple of videos weeks ago when this all happening about like what's it like being black, and like I got a lot of messages from white people, like messages from strangers, from a whole bunch of white people messaging me. I'm like, why are you guys messaging me? Because this video was not a fucking call for you guys to not message me and tell me how sorry you, like, nah, this wasn't a guilt trip video. It was just like me being honest, like, what's it like being black? And it's tough because it's like, especially dark skin, I don't get to choose. I don't get to be like, today I'm gonna be the white side. Like, this is just it. I get one look, I get one opportunity, I get one judgment, like, and that's the privilege you're talking about. And it's not, and not to get it twisted, not all mixed people get that privilege.
Yeah.
But it is there.
It's
it
for
exists.
sure.
Yeah.
Not that it's always utilized, but it exists.
Yeah. I can wash my hair and change. Like, I have
If you
very
want to.
curly hair, and if I really want to walk into an interview and know that I've landed it, I can't wear my hair curly. Like, but I have that.
The term is white passing.
Yeah.
Right?
I have that choice, and yeah, it's so true, because that's what it is. I could literally choose. If I wanted to, I could identify with being black. If I wanted to, I could identify with being white, you know?
I had a conversation with Shane Sterling.
Yeah.
A pretty interesting debate with him, and it went how I expected it to go, coming from a white person.
Okay.
But I want to ask it now, because you're also a black person, and maybe your perspective will be different. It might be the same. I don't know. But I knew what to expect coming from a white person, because he can only say so much, and in his perspective and his experience, he's like, no, like it'd be the same. My question was, if Obama was a dark-skinned man, do you think he would still win?
No.
Same campaign, same everything, same personality.
What were his parents again? His parents
are mixed.
His parents are mixed,
Yeah.
right? Was his mom white or?
I don't remember, actually, to be honest. But yeah, it was well aware that he was mixed. Everyone knew he was mixed. The world knew he was mixed. It wasn't a confusion. They even looked into it like, oh, he's not fully like. There was a whole campaign about he's not really black.
Yeah.
Like, so the world knew he was mixed. If Obama was a dark-skinned
That's
Obama,
what's wild. Sorry, but what's wild though is like if anyone saw Obama, they'd be like, "That's a black man."
yes,
There's nothing about him that looks mixed to me. But go on.
Understood.
Go on. Yeah.
But that's you.
Yeah.
You know he's a black man, so you're like, yeah, it's a black man. But again, it's the white passing. Not that he's white passing, but him being fair skinned, him being light skinned, him being mixed as well, and the fact that we're aware that there's such a large portion of white people out there, not just white people, a large portion of non-black people out there that sometimes just aren't sure.
Okay. Short answer: no. Like,
do you think he'd be president? No.
No, he wouldn't.
Correct.
Like,
What? Sorry, not correct. It's my opinion.
He would.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
At A+.
I don't think he would, because there's another element. Like, this whole colorism thing.
Yes.
There's so many levels to it,
Absolutely.
right? And there's another level of. I don't want to. You could call it fear. There's another
I
level
was about
of
to say safety. You're talking about safety.
There's a whole other level of things that come with being dark skinned and being black, right?
Yes.
So being black is one thing. It's already hard.
Yes.
Being dark skinned is another thing.
Yes.
And it's like you have to get over
You're
this
aggressive.
hurdle
You're angry.
where
You're dangerous.
yeah,
You're
and like
this.
you think about how language has evolved over years. All the things that you read and things that you're taught, you learn from a very, very young age that dark represents bad, light represents good, right? Even shows good is dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like
the dark side.
People just inherently
View dark as
bad. So if you were to put like a dark-skinned black man up there, he would probably have to be like 2 times as excellent as what Obama was
10.
Already was.
10, not 2 times.
Do you know what I mean though?
10.
Like,
I honestly don't even think that if he was
And
10
still
times
wouldn't
better,
win.
I still because
I'm saying 10
there's
and
no
still
way.
wouldn't win.
Yeah.
But it would at least you'd be like, okay,
He'd have a campaign.
He bust his ass.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's not. They're not putting him. I obviously it's a speculation and just an opinion, but I'm almost 100% certain a dark-skinned black man, even if he's the exact same person as Obama, same personality, same charisma, same education, he's not. You will not see a dark-skinned black man in office. That it just it doesn't fit the system. It doesn't fit the narrative. Getting Obama in there was already kind of like, we're squeezing him, but like,
But he went to a pretty much white school,
right?
so
Like,
it's okay.
there's so many like, okay, well he's good here and he's good here, and he needed to get the white vote, which is a big vote because. Well, the black vote was a big vote, is what was just guaranteed because he's black. We just had like, oh, he's black, we're doing it.
Yeah.
But he did need the white vote, and the safety thing we're talking about is like him being fair skinned and educated and all that stuff. Like, even if he was educated and all that, but he was dark skinned, that white vote is just not doing it.
Yeah.
They're just not doing it.
Yeah.
Right, and because we've already experienced how much racism in the fucking United States right now, he's not getting that white vote. Obama got racist white votes to win. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
He got real racists to vote for him.
Yeah.
A dark-skinned black man's not getting the racist vote. It's not happening.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's something that unfortunately, like, this is a conversation that just a lot of people truthfully will never be able to understand. It's like we talked earlier on this podcast a couple episodes ago how during quarantine and like seeing all the shit happening around George Floyd and all these things, we realized that like a lot of white people just truthfully like did not know like how bad it was for black people, right? And it was crazy to realize that as black people, because not only is there shit so obvious to us, we're just like, how can you not notice it? But given your environment, like where you grew up, there's a lot of factors that can go into play where you just never see these things. So when we talk about the experience of being like a dark-skinned person in like certain workplaces and certain levels, it's like very, very difficult. You know, when I think about all the workplaces I've been in, sometimes there's not many black people, and then there's definitely not a lot of dark-skinned black people that are there.
It's true.
You know, it's like, and it's tough. Like, it's tough. Like, you never know if people are actively thinking and saying in their head, we can't, like, I'm just not gonna hire this person,
bro.
And I know for a fact it's definitely happening in some places.
100%.
But then it gets,
you just don't know.
Yeah, and then it just gets to a point where you're just like, I actually don't know anymore. I don't know if these people aren't getting hired because they're actually not good at their job, bro, or because these people are actually racist. And like, what do we do?
And that's the thing. That's one of the main things I said in the video was that like, it's one of the most difficult things is like not knowing what someone actually thinks of me.
Yeah.
Like, I could be looking you in the face right now,
and I feel like
and like, do you know how fucked up that is? Like, you know what that fucking does to the brain, bro?
Yep.
Dude.
That like I know, like, I studied for this. I planned. You know, I've been working on this. I got my accolades. I got my degree. I got this. Okay, the paper says that. Okay, I got that. Paper says this. I got that. Like, you're going through the checklist of the stuff that they give you to get this position, the qualifications. You're like, okay, got. Okay, let me go to school, get this. Okay, I got this now. Perfect. Now I'm good to apply. Based on what they said, I'm good to apply. You know what that is to fucking do, to go somewhere and be like, here you go, I have everything you said on the list. And they go, oh, yeah, you do. And you're like, okay, so.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll be in touch.
Yep.
And you don't, like, do you know what that fucking does to you, bro? Like, when you're like, I know I qualify. Like, I know. Like, and then when you see someone get the job and you're like, he doesn't even have it. Like, bro, do you know what that does when you're like, I know for a fact he doesn't have his master's. I have my master's. You said to have your master's. And I didn't get it. He has it because he's white. And you what, bro? That fucks with us, man.
Are any of you on Reddit? Like, do you guys?
I don't really use that much.
Okay, so I use Reddit like every day. And today I saw someone posted a thread, and it was basically asking a question of, it's saying, for the minorities on Reddit, tell us like a story that you've experienced where you experienced something along the lines of subtle racism, where you knew that someone was basically being racist to you, but it was so subtle that they didn't even realize how fucked up it was, that like what they were doing, what they were saying. And then someone else added on to it. They're just like, just tell a fucked up story that happened to you. And this dude, he's like 28 now, right? And he remembers a story that happened to him from when he was like 11 years old. And basically he was best friends with this white dude when he was 4 years old to the age of 7. Then the black guy moved to a different neighborhood. He saw that same white dude again when he was 11. He's like, there's no way we were keeping in touch. This was like before the internet. Like, you know, I couldn't see him. He saw him again when he was 11, when their schools like met up for some meet. And he sees the guy and he's like, yo, Chris, what's up, man? And Chris was just like, I don't know you. I'm not friends with like no niggers, right?
He said that at what age?
Like 11 years old.
Shit, okay.
And the dude was just like, it was just really fucked up because I was best friends with this guy.
Yeah.
Like, not even a decade ago, like just a couple years ago.
This was learned.
And he's like, that was my first real experience learning that racism really is learned behavior.
It's learned.
Right? Because imagine it's crazy.
You didn't become that. 100%. You were taught.
Yeah.
You're not born racist.
No.
You know what the fucking color is. You're just like, this guy looks different than me, but okay.
And that shit, and that's why it's so sad and also frustrating to have these conversations with people sometimes, because we know that racism is learned behavior. Like, no one is truly, like, no one's born thinking I'm from a baby.
I'm better.
I'm better. I'm gonna be this evil person.
Yeah.
But to have that conversation with people, they don't want to hear it, because then it challenges a lot of things in their own life.
Teaching. What are you doing?
Not even teaching. If you tell this to someone our age that, like, yo, like, you're not, like, you weren't born racist. You were taught this. Now they have to sit there and be like, so you're saying, like, my family and my parents were this way, so like you're disrespecting them.
Saying, my parents are racist.
You know what I mean? It's
it's so embedded. You're like, now you're offended them. Imagine offending someone for offending you. Imagine.
Seriously.
Like, imagine. Yeah. Like, even the fucking phrase that, like, ally fatigue. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Did you hear about that?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
We're talking about ally, like,
it's not a real thing.
You're tired of supporting black people during this time. Oh, so much. Like,
I had.
Oh my god, another black post? You guys are still doing this?
I had someone actually reach out to me and say that they felt that some of the things I was posting was overwhelming for them, and that they were like, I'm so sorry, I muted you. I haven't been interacting with you, this is why. And I read it. I was like, there's no way you honestly typed all of this out.
You sent it.
And sent it. You sent that. You sent that.
You said this is a good idea. This is nice. With all due respect, I muted you.
Yeah.
You know what it is, though? Yo, you know what it is? Like,
I muted you.
What I learned through having all these fucking conversations with people is, especially white people, is that some of them really do mean well. Like, a lot of them that I've had conversations with, because I'm not going to interact with anyone that's fucking stupid, right? But a lot of them really do mean well. Yeah. And the common thing I've noticed is that they all say stupid shit that they don't realize is, like,
offensive.
Either offensive, or they just don't actually see how it comes across.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, so that girl who messaged you, like, I don't know your history, but in her heart, in her head,
she's like, I'm being nice.
She's like, I need to be honest with her about this, right?
I just had to mute it because, you know, like,
I had to be.
It was a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot for me.
I had to be honest. Like, she's coming from a good place.
She wasn't even saying in, like,
a malicious. She wasn't being malicious.
Really just like, listen, I've been seeing all this black stuff lately, and it's just tiring me out. So I had to mute you, not because I don't like you. It's just so much for me right now. Yeah. Like, it's just like every day, like racism every day. Like, eventually, like, come on, like, I get it. Like, I get it, guys. Come on,
right? Like,
move on.
Right. Like, stop being black, okay?
Still,
hurry up.
Like,
figure it out.
You're still posting about that.
Stop being black.
Oh my god, like, okay, they're not gonna arrest them.
Stop being black, okay?
Like, they're not gonna arrest the police. Like, I get, like, stop posting it. They're never gonna arrest them. Like, don't you guys get it? They're never gonna arrest the police. Breonna Taylor will never get those police arrested. Come on.
Fuck, man.
Like, arrest the police, please.
Arrest the police.
Like, fuck, man. Like, but what bothers me though is that, like, that itself.
Yeah.
And not even her response, because she's not the only one. Mm-hmm. And it's almost so prevalent that it's gonna start coming from our own. And it already is.
It already is.
Because this is also the problem. Like, we have these freedom fighters that last a week, that last a month, that last, 2 months, whatever, but everyone has their cap out, right? Not everyone, many have their cap out when it's like, is anyone still looking? No one's still listening anymore? Like, okay, I can go back to posting club stuff. I can go back, like, they'll do their stuff. They're like, okay, I'm part of the black team. Like, okay. And it's like, you see the poster dying down, they're dying down. Okay. And then everyone starts to slowly pull out. You're gonna have the same people that constantly are seriously about it that keep doing it. But the problem is like, because this is so widespread and so much of it's happening, we're almost in a way drowning ourselves out, which sounds crazy, but it's like,
that is what's happening.
It's like, we're like like they're laughing at us.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, oh, these guys are still posting about that stuff.
Seriously?
Wow. Like it's been like 2 months, guys. Come on. Like
It's true.
like it.
Yeah.
Like we lost their attention.
Yeah.
We've actually lost. We had it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was scrambling. The companies were putting out their black shit and putting their apologies, and we had them for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month max. And now because we're still doing it, and things are opening up, stages are opening up. I'm still pissed about basketball opening up, but whatever.
Yeah.
But things are coming back to try and have a somewhat normal.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you guys are still doing that thing? Like, yo, we're back to normal now. Like, come on."
Right.
You know, people are still dying. We're still losing. We're still being oppressed. Like,
They still have not arrested the cops that killed Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
so it's like, but the more we keep posting about it now it's annoying.
Yeah.
Now it's okay. Like you guys had, and it becomes another Black History Month.
Right?
Like this. Like it's just all right. February's done.
Yeah.
So
I
it's March now. Like
I think that people, if I saw a really interesting article regarding different movements that happened in the US specifically around the time where like segregation was still happening. And so it was saying like these things lasted months, years.
Yeah.
But our generation has never seen that. So we are so instant and everything is so instant to us that we just think, okay, if they were going to arrest the cops, they were going to do it by now.
Yeah.
When in actuality, like these are systems that we're fighting. We're not fighting individual people. We're fighting systems. And that takes years and months.
Yeah.
And
It does, but I mean, like, at the same, you know, when you see cases getting reopened for shit that, you know, was, like, hushed,
Yep.
the only reason they're getting reopened is because people don't shut up. Like, they're constantly on these people's necks. So it's like whether or not we've lost their attention, it's a matter of
can't stop.
Yeah, it's literally a matter of just
annoying. We have to be annoying.
Just keep being annoying.
This is the song that never ends.
Yeah, pretty much.
And even like if annoying is the solution, then that's what we'll be.
Yeah.
But it's sad that it has to become annoying.
Yeah.
For a result, but the fact that we are even annoying is a crazy phenomenon.
Yeah,
like,
I know, but it is.
I'm annoying you because I want justice.
But it is what it is. Like that's
bothering
what,
you.
Yeah.
That's what it needs to.
That angers
That's what
you.
it needs to be. That needs what
Like,
you know how it is. So, like,
of course.
you meet people who are straight up either pissed off or frustrated that you even want to have these conversations. And I'm sure you guys seen that meme where it's like talking about racism isn't a touchy subject if you're not racist. And it's like it's as simple as that. But it's like I don't even know. I always get more frustrated at the fact that I even have to have some of these conversations with people about why we're even having the conversation in the first place. You know? So it's like I'm getting frustrated with people who don't understand that what happened to Breonna Taylor, not only does it just show how the system is fucked up and how they don't give a fuck about black people, it shows that even when something is as clear cut as that happens, there's no fucking solution for that yet. You know, it's like, okay. And if we ask anyone, hey, like, do you think if that happened to a white couple, if we'd be having the same conversation? The answer is probably no. Like, we wouldn't be.
I know this is your podcast.
Yeah.
But I have kind of a question,
Yeah.
if you guys don't mind me asking,
Yeah, of course.
related to this. So I just finished writing a paper on how it's not enough to be non-racist. You have to be anti-racist.
Yeah.
like actively doing
Doing the work.
Yeah.
And I had an interesting response from someone that was editing my paper, and they were like, you know, I've never thought of it this way. I thought just not being racist was enough. Obviously, I'm sure both of you are going to say, no, you have to be anti-racist. Yeah. But what category do those non-racists fall into? If they're not racist, but they're not actively doing the work, they're just non-racist, then how, like...
What do you classify them as?
Yeah.
perpetuators.
They're complicit. That's all it is. Like, that's literally all it is.
It's almost like it's almost like it's almost like an extreme example, but it's almost like an accomplice to murder.
Yeah.
Like
It's true.
Dude.
I didn't kill him. I mean, I know sometimes he kills, but it's not me. Like
That's
Look,
very
like do you know he kills? I mean, sometimes I know he kills, but
I never really.
I
see
don't
it,
ever kill. It's like,
Yeah.
have you told anyone he kills? I mean, no. But like,
So you see how it plays out. So
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really interesting.
The thing is, after having conversations with a lot of white people during this time, they always like people always ask. They're like, "What do I do? Like, how do I help in this situation?" Blah blah blah, which is like frustrating to have to answer.
There's
but,
Google.
Like, there's Google, but one of the things that I've just come to the conclusion in saying is like, listen, you guys have like this magical fucking superpower that I will never have, and it's the ability to hear how white people talk about other people that don't look like them when they're not around.
Yep.
Right? And the best example that like really made me think that way was one of my buddies, Daniel Schiffer. He's like a big time YouTuber. He's a white dude, and he's also Jewish, right? And he was like, until I went to university, so by this point he's like 19. He's like, I didn't know in my entire life, like how people talked about Jews. He's like, I never knew.
Until he's around that.
So what happened is he's around other white people, and they don't know
he's Jewish.
They don't
They
know
think
he's
white.
Jewish, right? He's not wearing a yarmulke.
They just think he's white.
They just think he's white.
Oh, he's just a white guy.
And
He's Jewish.
he starts hearing how they're talking about Jewish people, right? Like some really offensive shit. And he's like, I'm literally sitting next to these people.
They have no idea.
They have no idea because I'm white. But like that's how they talk about you when you're not around. So it's like part of how you even fucking start
You know
is
for a fact that like I'm Jewish, you'd be like, oh, not you.
not you
Yeah.
though. Oh,
Not you, though.
Oh, really?
Nah.
Fuck, my bad.
You're the
bro.
good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're
My
not
bad,
talking
bro.
about
But you
that
know what I
kind.
mean.
You know what I mean.
You know what I
though.
mean. You're part of the culture. Like you know what goes on. Like fuck
Not
out of
you.
here.
Like you're the
Like,
good one, man. Come on.
Oh
So-
my gosh, I hear that all the time.
You're the good one.
So that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, okay, you should probably start there. Like how you correct your own little circle of friends. Like
Yep.
that's what it is. And this is the fault. I don't want to say it's a fault, but the one thing about the black people and the black community in general is, and I've said it so many times, we're just so fucking inviting at times. You know what I mean? Like, yes, our community has like, a lot of issues, but I almost think it's within our DNA and culture at times to be inviting and inclusive of people that are outside the culture when we like them. That's why there's the phrase, like, I'm going to invite you to the cookout. Like, he's
Yep.
invited to the cookout. Like,
Yep.
all this shit.
You can hang.
You can hang.
come
Like, this
to the
person can
cookout.
hang. Like,
Yeah.
chances are, especially in this city, if you're a black man and you have, like, a good group of black friends, there's usually, like, at least one white dude in that crew. Or, like, a white dude who's like, everyone's cool with him. Right? You never see that the other way around. You never see, like, a bunch of white dudes who are all cool, like, who are often, like, inviting, like, a lot of black
I
people.
mean, unless
Yeah.
that black dude has gone to Harvard with them.
Yeah.
Or was the one black guy on their rugby team.
Pretty
or,
much.
you know,
Yeah.
like,
And you can see it. So it just goes back to having those. It's as simple as having those conversations. It's just too many of them are comfortable having it.
So quick segue. You and I were talking about this earlier about the topic we both saw on Twitter. Paraphrased. There was a post that was made by a guy who tweeted, and he said, black men, could be black people specifically, but black men deal with trauma by trying to get rich.
yep.
You saw it too?
We
Or you
talked.
saying
We
yeah?
Yeah, I
like
said it to her. Yeah.
Okay.
briefly touched on it.
So-
yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
See,
Just yes or no? Do you agree with it?
I wouldn't say specifically just rich. I would just say by just trying to be successful.
Yes.
Because it's not all rich. Not everyone wants to be money, but it's like we're trying to prove that we can. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like I don't think it's the rich that we all like. There's portions that just I want to get rich. I want to make it and prove it wrong. But there's people that are just like, nah. I just want to fucking win, so people can be like,
Yeah.
I fucking did this shit. You know. So I think we all had this chip on our shoulder where we're like, you know, all right, I'm gonna do this with or without your support. I'm gonna make it with or without you. I'm gonna, like, with or without the dad, with or without you know, the accolades, with or without, you know, I can't get this job, but I'm gonna find a way to get around it. Like we have this like chip, so it's like we don't actually process the trauma. We just kind of fight it. Like none of us really. maybe not none, but few of us really sit with what's happening and be like, wow, like, I really got rejected because I'm black. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
no,
No,
we
it's true.
know it happens. But we're not like
Yeah.
really sitting with ourselves like, wow, like, okay, this is
Like I'd be
Like-
I'd be genuinely curious to know how many successful black men in whatever industry, these fucking rappers, athletes, like artists, whatever. I'd be curious to know the percentage that goes to see a therapist. And because I'd
like
be
now that they're there.
yeah,
at that
no,
level?
but I'd be
Or period?
yeah, but I'd be willing to bet it's not many.
Yeah.
Like I don't think a lot of successful black men in particular, and maybe even black women, I just don't think they're going to see therapists.
They believe they're fine now.
They believe they're fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, it's not even a part of our culture to begin with.
I agree.
But you're right. Like, it's the fact I have everything that I need. Like,
I
I'm
got here.
successful, so why do I
Yeah, I got here
need to do this, right? But then you see these celebrities with
going mad.
fucked up kids
Yeah.
or like going mad because they're just passing down certain things that don't make sense.
You got rich, you got successful, but you never dealt with how you got there or what you had to go through to get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You hadn't even talked about, like, God knows, you know, Beyonce is one of the most successful women in the world. We don't know her personal life, but I know doors were slammed in her face. I
Yeah.
know before she became Beyonce,
Yeah.
like, people are like, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, we wouldn't have to be her to know that there are moments that she tried out for auditions and did certain things, and
Yeah.
people are, and she's like, I want to be a superstar, and people are like, yeah, like, okay,
Yeah.
And then when
Good
she
luck,
became Beyonce, they're like, oh my god, yeah, you tried out for a thing, like, you know, like, you know, they came back like, oh my god, Beyonce, remember you did our audition like when you were 12? And she's like, fuck you, like, and which means she's still, you know, she remembers that.
Yeah.
Right?
For
So
sure.
Beyonce didn't forget any of that shit but I don't think she dealt with it. She just became a beast and just like, all right, I'm now Beyonce. So you can't say shit to me. But she's still struggling with stuff, I'm sure.
What do you think?
I mean, so I have like two brief perspectives on this. The first one being, I think in general, whatever the trauma may be, even if it's not directly related to being black men, from my experience, have used or equated success to healing. So they
okay.
have, my dad, he knows this, so this is no secret, but has always been chasing after something because he was trying to not deal with something else. And even if it wasn't on a conscious level, that success equated to everything's good. And like
Yeah.
you were saying, like, I have all these things now. What more could I need? But like, yeah, I grew up in an environment where I was watching my dad go through multiple traumas.
Yeah.
And instead of going to see a counselor, it was like, I'm going to be more successful. This trauma happened. I'm going to be more successful.
Yeah.
And but especially related to trauma from being a black man, like, I'm sure that is still the same story, you know, like,
Yeah.
and because you have to do so much more to prove yourself, or you feel that you have, not even feel, you literally have to do so much
Yeah.
more to be that guy. Yeah, I just think that in general, trauma men, but black men definitely use
Yeah.
success to, or equate it to healing.
I can definitely agree with that because I mean it manifests in different ways, right? Like even if you're not crazy successful, there's still the element of showing some form of success through vanity,
Yep.
right? And it's like I love wearing gold chains, right? Even though like it's ironic as a black man that I like to wear chains, given like our history of being in chains, but you see it across our culture. Like we like to fucking have vanity on us and let it be shown, whether or not it's because we like it or because it shows people.
Or we're conditioned to like it.
Condition like it, or
Why
because
why you like gold? Do you think it's your idea? No.
no, definitely not.
No, but exactly.
definitely not.
Right?
I like the way gold looks on my skin,
But you
I
think
know
that's your idea either?
No, I didn't get
like,
I didn't
but
grow
like,
up knowing
it's-
that.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's just like we grew up watching BT, we grew up watching these celebs and athletes and blah 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 blah, and you see gold number, you see a diamond, you see girl, you see this, you see watch, you're like, I'm fucking wearing gold. Like I can say, yeah, I like gold. No, it's my thing. That's not your thing.
Yeah.
Like, there are no ideas of their mind. Like,
Yeah.
we're conditioned. We're just older kids, bro. Like,
Pretty much.
we're just older kids still learning from stuff we see. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. You don't like gold. You like gold because you saw gold, and you're like, I want that. I'm dark skinned. Okay, I looks like him. So, like, you make association. You're like, okay, that could be me. You get a gold chain. You're like, okay, now this is my thing.
Yeah.
Now I like gold. No, you don't. you wear gold because you've been conditioned to like it. You know, so
Man.
it's interesting. Like, and I mean, we can go into another topic, which is culture appropriation. But I mean,
But
like,
hold on. I want. That's a hot topic. I know that, but I wanted to ask you about the stuff going on in our industry with like the photographers and all that stuff. Because every day,
slime.
So this is what happens. Like every day for like the last
A new
2 months,
a new guy bites the dust.
I open up Twitter and I see fucking
Another one bites the dust.
yeah, some next photographer man just doing some slime ball shit with women, getting called out, right? But then lately, what I've been seeing is like, I guess you could say the men who are also in the industry, also getting called out, right? So for example, let's just say there's another man. You and I don't even know him, right? But there's another man in the industry who did some slime ball shit. I'm seeing people on Twitter, like very prevalent people, like with voices saying that like the rest of you men who just aren't even saying anything, like, are just as bad, kind of thing.
Aren't saying anything about
What these guys are doing.
Like if you're not calling them out
the people?
directly,
Yeah. So basically, what they're saying is like people like you and I, because we're not calling these people out.
Oh, like joining the crowd, basically.
So this is the exact definition of it's not enough to be non-racist.
Yeah.
You have to be anti-racist.
Right.
And I think in this type of scenario, and I never thought about this until we just started talking about it now, what those people are probably saying is it's not enough to just cancel him from your life.
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop giving him opportunities. You need to stop, like, promoting his shit. You need to stop. I mean, I wouldn't want to be friends with someone who is that slimy anyways. But
they're trying to look for like ways that you're also
because
jumping in.
Because the way
like,
I'm interpreting it is like
he's getting exposed.
This man just got exposed.
Right.
I don't even know who this person
don't know
is.
them.
But because I'm part of the industry, and it's not like we're just part of the industry.
Right.
It's like we're kind of known within the industry.
Sure.
So then people are like,
why aren't you posting about it?
Yeah, like because there's a big group of men who aren't saying anything, right, about this stuff going on.
Right.
You guys are also complicit.
So they want us and others to essentially post about these slime balls.
Yeah, like
additionally.
Yeah.
To the already posts that are out there. We need to also now post as well to spread, basically.
My thing is
like they want it spread. That's what they're saying. It's not spread enough. We have the capability to spread this further, and we're not. Is that what they're saying?
No, I think it's
they don't want it spread.
I mean, obviously, the people want more awareness, but I think the problem is, Ryan, is just the fact that, like, as a dude, like everyone, okay, look, there's no sugarcoating it. As a guy, we all know. And we've definitely all been around dudes who have done some slime ball shit. Right. Right? And whether you call them out or not, there's not enough dudes who are calling them out to prevent them from ever doing anything. Because essentially what...
Like the embarrassment.
Yeah. Because essentially...
Like we're not embarrassing.
Because essentially what needs to happen is those guys need to get embarrassed.
Man needs to embarrass other men.
Yeah, because if you get embarrassed, like,
then you'll stop.
Chances are you're going to stop. Yeah. But that's not happening.
It's girls don't really embarrass guys. Guys embarrass guys.
I think that's true.
Pretty much, because
the girls can say anything. Girls go, oh, his dick's small. It's like, yeah. If mans are like, yo, I heard your dick was small, bro. It's like, yo, chill. It's like, nah, like guys get under guys' skin. Mm-hmm. Girls can be like, yeah, he's this, he's that. Oh, he tried to get, and girls like, yeah, she's talking shit, bro. Like, guys write off girls' complaints so much. Mm-hmm. Guys write off like, you know, groups of girls getting at them. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's the era we live in. Like, girls say they get raped every day, and guys like, the law's like, I got raped, that, you know. But, you know, if a guy speaks out and says, yeah, this guy did this, and a group of guys are like, yeah, this guy did this, people are gonna listen. Right? If a girl, she's just girls just saying
which is
something
like sad.
Which is sad. But if a group of mans are like, yo, fucking get rid of this guy, like people will get shit done. It's just the way it is. Right?
That's true.
So I do get it. I think easy answer, I'll say sure. I agree. I also say that we as men are very it's not my business type of people. Right? Which isn't necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
But that's our nature. Like, it's like, I don't really know this guy. Like, it's fucked up. I don't really know dude. So, I mean, like if I come in contact with him, I'll say something. But, like, for me to go out my way and just slander dude, like,
so,
I mean, I don't really know him. Like,
to challenge that perspective a bit.
I'm not saying it's a right perspective, but come on.
Yeah. But, and I don't even know how to do, the only other example I know of or could give you is literally race, and we've been talking about race for so long, but that to me would be the same as me saying, well, like, as a mixed person, it's kind of not my business. Like, I don't necessarily identify black, I don't identify as white, so it's like not really my business to go out of my way to say, if I see someone that's doing something racist, I'll call them on it. But to post about it, it's not really my business.
It's a similar parallel, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying I definitely agree. Like, had I, like, put it this way, had I known, I'll give an honest answer. Here's the easy answer. If you knew the girl, you would talk about it. I don't even think that's necessarily true. I definitely do.
If a lot of
the
dudes,
guys knew the person, if the guys know the girl, it's unfortunate this is the scenario, but this is most likely the situation. If the guys know if a girl says this guy did this to me, right, and all the girls are sharing, oh my god, this guy's fucking disgusting, blah blah, and a guy knows the girl that it happened to personally, and he cares about that girl, not like his girlfriend, but like he just that's one of my girls, like he will talk about it.
But what if the guy, okay, so what if he knew the girl? No, what if he didn't know the girl, but he knew the guy?
The guy?
You don't think he'd say anything?
I don't think he'd say anything, unfortunately.
See, I think that's why I'm different, because, like, yeah.
Not us.
Yeah.
I don't think...
You're saying, like, the majority of men.
I do not... I think if guys know the guy, they'll talk amongst other guys and be like, yo, that guy's fucked.
Yeah.
Like...
That's true.
They'll be like, yo, you hear about Jerome? Yeah, he's fucked, bro. That's nasty. That's crazy. But they won't publicly say shit.
Yeah.
But they'll talk about it amongst other guys and be like, yo, this is fucked up. Yeah, I know, it's pretty fucked up. Will you publicly say it's fucked up? Nah. They won't. But I'm saying in reverse, if they know the girl that happened to, like, that's one of her girls, and the girl's like, yo, like, this shit happened to me, this fucking guy did this to me, the guy would be like, yo, who this fucking guy is, like, it's so much easier for guys to be like, yo, whoever this guy is talking to my girl, talking to my friend, do this to my girl, like, cut that if I ever see you, but all that, like, if I see this guy, it's easy to say that stuff, because now it's protective mode, because they know the person, right? They don't jump into protective mode for strangers, unfortunately. And that jumps into the whole fucking story about how black men aren't protecting black women. Unless a guy knows the black girl, they're like, no, like, you should literally be like, that's a black woman, period. Like, I'm there. But it's not like that. We're not protecting black women like we're not protecting black women as if they're all ours, which they are. But it's kind of like, I don't really know her. It's like, but she's black, bro. Like, what do you mean?
Yep.
But it's only like, I don't know her like that. That's like, she's just black, which means she's underprivileged, which means she's unrepresented, like, which means you are the majority to protect her, whoever the fuck she is. And we're like, I don't really know her like that, right? It's like that, and that's why women are getting at black men, because it's like, yo, like, protect the black women. Like, guys are just like, I mean, it's great. Like, it should literally be like, she's black, I'm there. Yeah. It should be. Yeah. It's not. It's not.
You know what though? Like, this is a conversation we've never had on on this podcast before. I don't even know if I had it with you. I had it with some other friends, but it's just like, I 1000% agree with everything that you just said, and like, I continue to try show that. I just personally believe that we're just gonna use my experiences. I think people take me less seriously because I'm dating a white woman.
Yes.
So it's like
I'm actually not even disagreeing with you.
So the thing is like
you're saying for your specific experience.
Yeah. So no matter,
do you find yourself not saying stuff sometimes?
No, I say stuff, but I feel
like
you're
saying just to get.
No, I say stuff, I do stuff, and I still feel like people don't take me seriously at all because I'm dating a white woman. I see the way.
Know you though. Because
they
have to know you though.
Whether or not they know me, or like they've seen me, or they know me through social media, it's all the same. Like
I'm saying, are you saying under the assumption everyone knows you're dating her though?
Yes, there's no way that you follow me on social media and not know that I'm dating a white woman. Like who I'm dating, you know this, right? And it's like as much as people say these things about like, oh my god, like you guys are cute, like blah blah blah. Like I know, I always know for facts that like 'cause I'm not stupid. Like I know people are definitely talking shit, like all this type of stuff. Especially when I bring up issues in the black culture and I'm talking about things that are happening to black women, I just kind of accept it as par for the course. Like I knew being in a relationship with someone that
what it comes with.
Like I understood what it comes with, and I just would like to think people understand who I am as a person, so they wouldn't necessarily think that I'm like some sellout or whatever. But this is how I know that people are talking shit, right? I got a text from someone. I'm not gonna say their name, but I got a text from someone that I know, right? And they meant to send this text to someone else.
This is recent?
Ooh.
This was on June 7th, right? So they meant to send this text to one of our friends.
Yeah.
But they sent it to me, literally saying, send this to Zamora, right?
Okay.
And then they said, oh my god, was sending that to so-and-so, LMAO, all in jest, all love. And all I responded was just, okay, LOL, right?
What they said?
It was a tweet of Dr. Umar Johnson.
Okay.
Where he was basically saying,
like dating white women kind of thing.
He's like, if you were dating a white woman, you're a coon, like blah blah blah, like all this stuff.
Hold on. So this person meant to send that to somebody else tell them to send it to you?
They were probably joking around, be like,
they were trying to joke around and be like, hey, you should send this to
actually send it.
Yeah.
But that was got it. Like
at Zamora next
wouldn't
time.
actually send it to you.
Yeah.
But they want to talk about you.
Yeah.
And that combo would never actually get to you.
Exactly.
And you got it.
And I got it.
And then they said what?
Yeah.
They said what after? Oh.
They literally, after they said send it to Zamora, they realized they actually sent it to me.
Yeah, and said, oh
my god, was sending that to so and so.
Oh, and made them out.
Yeah, like
holy.
I'm not going to show the camera, but that's what they said, right? They're like, oh my god. Like they realized almost immediately in caps. They're like, yeah, you know what that is, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes it even worse.
So it's but what's crazy is
bro,
why?
So this is what makes
the fact they threw that person on the bus is crazy for one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, they couldn't go under the bus alone. They had to take someone.
That's wild because they could have been like, oh fuck, like I didn't mean to say that to you and take that to the heart. But no, they said, nah,
hug it.
I'm saying that to Felicia. I need you to know we're both doing this shit together.
Seriously.
That's crazy.
So then
go ahead.
So then I was after I got it.
Did you laugh or you shake your head?
No, I was pissed, bro.
Oh, you're mad?
I was pissed because like maybe because you recognize the name.
Yeah.
You understand like why I was just like
are they close to you?
I'll explain after, right? But when I saw it, I was like, okay. Like literally my response was okay. I was like, all right. So then I sat there for a bit and I was actually kind of cheesed because I'm like, I do all this shit. Like I just did a whole exhibit like about this one particular topic, and you're still gonna talk shit, even if it's in jest.
Still on the low.
You're still sending something from someone who's like very adamant about black people dating outside their race, right? Like there's a little bit of truth here. Let's be honest to what you're saying. So
this wasn't a haha joke.
So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, yo, I was actually pretty upset by this. So then I text my boy and I was just like, yo, am I like fucked up for feeling some type of way about this?
Okay.
And he was just like, no, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
So then I talked to
especially considering who it is to you.
Yeah. So then I talked to the person that they meant to send it to.
Right.
Because that person I'm actually very tight with.
But did they know that it got to you already, or you're the first person telling them it got to you first?
So what do you mean?
Did she go backtrack and be like, "Oh fuck, it went to Zamora already. He's gonna message you," or did you?
No.
Are you the first person telling her that this message got?
I was the first person telling her that I got this.
Okay.
So I sent her a screenshot of this, and I'm like, "Yo, so like, what's up with your friend? Like, what's this about?" And she laughed and was just like
nervous laugh.
It was kind of like a laugh, yeah, whatever, and it was awkward. And then I had to explain to her how like I was like, "Listen, I've known you for like nearly a decade now, and for years, because all my tight friends, you know, those other two guys, like, they weren't dating black women either
at the time, like back then.
Still,
okay.
Like one of them has been dating the same woman since grade 10, bro. Like,
so it makes you wonder, are you thinking about that?
So then this is the thing. One of them's been dating the same woman since grade 10. The other was dating the same woman since university,
right,
till this year,
right,
longer than I have.
So you like, you always thinking this?
Like I was just dating different women, whoever it was, but they've been dating outside their race for as long as ever.
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, when you make comments like this and you like joke around about this shit, it makes me feel like you guys look at me like I'm not black. Even
like you specifically, and not the other guys?
Exactly, because they don't
do that to other guys.
Take in how they said, send this to Zamora.
And they have other friends that are doing the same
Even
thing.
though they're also tight with these guys. They're not saying send this to
everybody.
This
to all three of them, or all with it. Yeah.
Send this to I was like, yo, like, you might...
That's strange.
I'm like, you might not see it this way, but like, it actually makes me feel like you guys think I'm not black. Or like less black because I'm dating someone outside my race, even though our other friends have always dated outside our race.
I didn't book that scenario you just said just now, because I'm like... especially like as if you're the only one that's doing it, and which makes it like, and you know what it is weird, like, and you know why it is, because like I took the time to think about it, and it's because every girl that I have dated has always been different. Like and that's my thing. It's not even anything. Okay, so this is my point. It's not even like I'm always dating white women, or I'm always dating brown women. Right. Every woman I've dated has literally been different. So just not black.
Just not black. So this narrative is, the closest I ever dated was Shawnee. She was mixed. But scenario, she grew up with more of the white side of her family, right? So there you see this how that plays. But then, so because I've always just dated different people, the narrative is now, oh, you must not like black women because every woman you've dated has always been different. And I'm just like, what?
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Like, I just date any, like...
Yeah. But all they know is they're not black, though. Which is stupid, but that's...
Yeah. But you see where I was coming from when I was like, see, like,
so,
when you mix...
I want to just quickly add a little bit of salt to the wound, in case you haven't had this perspective. Those two people have established that conversation already outside of that thing that they've sent you.
You're talking about the two people that are talking about it?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, they've probably been having this conversation.
Yeah, because I would never send something offline to you.
Yeah.
If we had never talked about it outside.
Time?
First time. I would never, no one would ever do that.
Yeah.
Second thing is that the person that sent you that, or the person that was supposed to initially receive it, must have made it an open and comfortable environment to have those types of disrespectful conversations in order for them to even feel comfortable.
This has been a funny thing.
Yeah.
This has been a haha.
It's like salt in the wound, but like, also the universe was like, yo, these people are actually not. And
then it's like, how long? How
right?
long?
How long has it been going on?
That's you know what this reminds you of? It's not even funny, but it's funny. You know, like, like you get fucking caught in a lie, like you're a man or your girl, and they're like, that means everything you've been telling me is a lie. Yeah. It's like,
but it goes back
my God. It's like,
it's like, hey.
It's like, how do you know? Like, when does it start now? Like,
it goes back to the point that you had mentioned earlier where you're like, I could be literally sitting here talking to you, rah, he's
like, yo, we've gone up so many times, and like,
and the whole time I'm thinking,
you're
like,
chilling with me and my girl, and you're like, so this whole time you're like, You're laughing at me?
The disrespect.
yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's how. No, but that's
Because you're like, we chill all the time and you.
But that's how I feel.
You're
though.
laughing at. Like you
that's
guys are actually laughing
Yeah.
at.
That's how I actually feel. Like I actually feel like every single time I've been hanging out with
You're
these
laughing.
people, like they're either low-key saying something, texting, or they've been talking shit. And it's not like I never ever thought that before.
No,
I never
you
did.
never felt
it wasn't until
they never actually made you feel like.
yeah, but it wasn't until I saw that I was like, I probably would have felt differently if it was like just a stupid little meme, right? But the fact that it was
Like
Dr.
him really
Umar
speaking,
Johnson,
like speaking,
because you know how he is.
Yeah,
like sometimes even I find his shit funny, but like
but he's aggressive.
he's aggressive. So
sure.
I was just like, okay, this is a bit.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a bit
This
much.
isn't a joke. You're like, you believe this?
Like this makes me think, all right, this is going a bit far now. You know what I
gosh.
mean?
So what is your? Well, last thing we'll talk about. But what is your speculation or theory on the perspective of the other guys that are dating white girls?
I think they give them a pass. Like I think
You think it's just a pass?
I think they make look. I know it's not a thing. I know that they joke around about them too because, like, one of them, it's happened in person, but it was never like a super disrespectful thing, right? It was always kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but we would all
Like a microaggression.
it was all like kind of like that, right? But the thing is, the person who sent that text, I never joked around with them like that.
Right.
I never did, right? And they never joked around with me like that.
Huh.
The person that they were sending it to, that person I would joke around with, right? Because
you don't have that relationship. Like
I don't have that relationship with this
Right.
person. So it's hard for me to look at that situation and not feel like there's some level of like a tiny little bit of animosity there, you know. And there's multiple reasons why that I won't get into, but it's like, it just makes me feel like, okay, we're picking and choosing now. You know what I mean? Because it's interesting. One person dated someone outside of their race, a white person, for like nearly 7 years. I've only been dating my girlfriend for like 2 years, but yet I'm not seeing those same conversations or jokes or whatever. And who knows? Maybe because I saw this text, it means that they're probably also having that same thing,
Like
same
about
conversation
them, maybe.
about
Who
them
knows?
too. It
Possible.
could.
It just never got to them.
It may not.
Yeah.
It just never got to them.
Yeah.
But like once it got to me, I was like, okay, like
That is insane that
like-
it even got to
It's
like,
it's like perspective shift.
wow.
the fact that it got to me meant that this is what it meant. Because I've been in that scenario before
Where
where
you're
where I sent a
texting?
text to someone that I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
And it means that I was so ready to send this text. Like I couldn't wait to
You
send
didn't
it.
even pay attention.
That I was
You did.
I was thinking about this person so much that I typed in their name.
and went there,
And then went there and sent it.
bro.
But also, like, you've got a long enough name that you would at least had to think once while you were typing that.
Wait, hold on. This is what makes it even more crazy. The person that they were sending it to starts at one end of the alphabet, and my name is all the way.
Here's if you don't know if they're talking to you recently though. Were they?
I don't talk to this person
At all?
I don't. I do not.
Like, there would not have been a recent.
There's
text.
no
that's
way.
weird.
There's no way. There's no way, Ryan. That's
They
why
had
it's
to
crazy.
literally type in the name in the
So
search bar.
that literally was like that. Literally meant they said send it to Zamor and typed Zamor
just foaming
their
at the mouth
in their
ready to
brain.
go, like,
in
they're
their,
just like, yes.
in their brain
I'm
to
gonna send this.
Zamor.
Not even looking, just
Actually,
like,
you know what? I'll send it.
Never mind.
You know what?
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Oh fuck!
Fuck the middleman. I'll do it. And then after they come
Oh
to their
shit!
senses,
I didn't actually mean to do it.
holy shit,
Yo,
that's so funny.
That's crazy. That was too easy.
Yeah, that was too
Yo,
good.
but that feeling though, like now that we can laugh about it, I remember when if you ever sent a screenshot to somebody about somebody to the wrong person, bro, that
Worse.
feeling. Oh my! Yo, the way the lies you come up with to get out of that.
Yeah, see, I was just showing you that text said. I've done that. So
The
yeah,
lies.
see, do you see how the text
lies,
went?
like,
They're all there for you too.
I remember it was fucked up because I sent a screenshot one time, and I was waiting for the person to reply, like the person I meant to say. No, wait to
I'm dying because you're there for like hours.
Yo, like,
yo, why am I gonna respond to that?
I said to them, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, so I go back to the message, it's not there. I'm like, fuck, did I delete it? Like, scrolling through the message. I'm like, I swear I just sent this, and I'm like, nah. So I go back to the message I screenshot, and it's like convo then screenshot in the convo,
and it's like red,
and it's just red with no response. I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, fuck. And they finally respond. They're like, question mark. You know, those ones are like, it's not even like a comment. Not even like, there's no conversation of like, why'd you say it? It's just like, what? Like, and I saw a question mark. I'm like, yeah, no, like, I screenshot. I was trying to screenshot something, and it like I was already in the convo, so like it just, like didn't believe the fuck I said.
Easiest
I was like,
one is okay. Are all the texts there for you too?
Stop.
Seriously, it works.
No one believes
anyone who's watching this.
This
has
is
worked
the white
every
passing.
time.
This is the white passing. No one's believing a dark-skinned black man saying that bullshit.
That's
your text going through too?
What?
They're
No,
like,
girls are the worst for that because guys automatically assume if I'm screenshotting the convo, obviously sending it to my girls.
Yeah.
Like there's no even question about it. So every time, and I did it not that long ago.
yeah, but I'm saying that's you. I'm saying you're not gonna believe me saying that to you. If I'm talking,
you're right.
If I'm talking to you,
Like,
and
what?
not only am I talking to you, what I screenshot, you and I both know was some shit. You know, we were fighting, or it was some shit. So you know for a fact, it's like you and I were not on good terms for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And now you receive a screenshot of that specific thing, and you know we were both going through just now.
Yeah.
There's no way I can tell you. Oh, are these going through for you too?
Right.
We're just arguing. Yeah, but like,
I mean, like, who the fuck did you send this to?
like straight up,
who did you send this to?
where is this going? No, I just want to know if these are going through you as well.
Yeah.
We were just arguing. Yeah, I know, but like, are you getting them?
No.
Like, what?
Now that you feel like that,
Like,
I
what
would
am I
not. I
saying?
would have been, and then I would have screenshotted you screenshotting us and
Yeah.
be like, "Yo, what an
guy's an
idiot!"
Look at this
Yeah.
fucking dummy.
Look at this
Like,
Right?
dumbass.
It's so stupid.
So yeah, don't screenshot people.
Yeah.
It's just whoever invented that fucking shit fucking fucked everybody up.
Oh my
Like
god.
the
Yeah,
fact
that-
you can like it fucks up celebrities. Like a man was sending a fucking smiley face screenshot post
Right?
Twitter. A fucking Russell Westbrook send me smiley face. Like, oh my
Right?
god,
Seriously.
like, you can't do shit.
You can't do shit.
like, relax.
There should be a screenshot block feature.
No.
You're a mix up.
That's 'cause
No.
What do you mean
no woman in the world would co-sign that.
Screenshot block feature. Add it.
Or they should
Imagine.
let you know if you screenshot my shit.
Snapchat had that.
I
for a
know,
bit.
but
You mean
imagine
like regular text messages?
imagine
Okay, but some-
regular text messages that
Regular
happen.
text. Nah.
Okay, but sometimes
People will get around it by just taking photos of their phone.
Oh, for
They'll
sure.
do-
I used to do
Yeah,
that.
there'd be a way
Before
around it,
screenshot,
right?
I used to do that. But like sometimes, like your man just sends you some cute shit. You just want to send it to your girls. I don't want you to get notified that I'm screenshotting
No,
you
the
talking cute.
notification thing is weird, but I do think.
To block it.
Why? Are you, okay, like, let's talk about it before you.
No,
close.
you should if you're in a conversation with a girl and she goes to screenshot it, what should happen is it should say something like
It should say something
like,
"Will you allow
You've
this?"
been exposed.
No, will you allow? Will you
Yeah.
allow this? You have to be like,
yeah, like I have to allow it. I have to allow it. I want consent. I want
Okay,
consent.
okay.
I want consent for my shit.
So imagine you don't allow it, and then I'm like,
"What are we talking about now?"
Oh.
So you're not allowed.
oh, so now you're not allowing me to
And I'd
screenshot
be
your
like, hell
shit?
yeah.
So who the fuck else are you talking to like that I can't send that to my girls?
What do you? This is
Come
between you and
on.
I. What are you talking about, man?
Come on.
What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
This is our business. Tell them to mind their business.
Oh
Yo,
my.
listen, screenshotting ruins relationships. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, for facts.
It does.
For facts.
It does. Okay, put it this way. Imagine,
facts.
remember life before screenshotting. Just let's put you guys in the place right now. Remember there was a time where you would just send a text
Close your
message.
eyes. Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. You would send a text message. You would wait, and then you would get it, and then you would respond, and that was it.
That actually is pretty phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie.
Like no, but like it's just
Yeah.
if I'm talking to you, and
That's it.
Screenshots
that's
definitely
it.
ruin
Like that's it. It's like I'll text
Like
you
back
later.
in the days of the T9 keyboard.
Yeah,
or
just
whatever,
I would
like-
text you. You look, you see the text, I text back. It's just me and you, baby. It's just me and you. Now it's like I say some outlandish shit. Group
and your
chat.
other hoes.
You're in the group chat.
Right? Oh,
What?
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we do the same thing, but like,
Yeah.
you-
For facts, you do. the amount of time, the reason I know that guys talk about girls like that in a group chat is because of how quick you are to ask us. So have you talked about me in the group chat yet?
Yeah, but this is the difference.
How do you know we talk about you
Here's
in
the
the group
difference.
chat?
Here's the difference.
Yeah.
Guys talk about girls because we're fucking roasting you guys. We talk about girls and we catch them in stupid lies.
Yeah.
We talk about girls
Really?
because there's girls that are texting me and then texting him, and we're
Yeah.
like, bro, what? like,
Yeah.
like
That's true.
That's guys use
Cause
guys
it-
use it to expose
That happens.
girls.
because the
That
difference
happens
is
too.
yeah, because I feel like girl groups are
Girls aren't
not
like
they're
that.
not
No, no.
they're not cool like that.
Not
Where
like that.
where if
You're
Ryan-
not happy if your girl's talking
Yeah.
to this girl like, yeah, look at this. You're not.
If Ryan's
you're not
talking
like,
to a
oh,
tank-
fuck with me too. You're
Yeah,
not.
if
You're
Ryan's
not
talking
doing
to a
that.
tank and then finds out
You're
I'm
not doing
talking to her,
It's true.
we'll laugh.
We're
about
laughing
it.
at it.
Yeah,
But
see,
girls aren't doing.
You're
I
not
think they're
laughing.
laughing.
I literally just had this situation happen, and I was trying so hard to explain it because someone was like, why'd they even send you the screenshots in the first place? I was like, because that's just what girls do. Like, if for guys, I guess it's different, but if my girl hears from another girl, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
so-and-so's talking to him too, done.
Right.
Like, that's it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you're sending screenshots, send me receipts. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to ask for them because I know you're going to send them anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just game over.
Yeah, but the thing is, you guys are mad about. We're laughing.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
true.
Like, we're
That's
sending
different.
like, yo, she look at this.
That's
Yeah.
Look
different.
what she's sending. Wild.
'Cause
Anyways,
it's-
I'm still fucking her tonight.
Yeah,
so.
because-
like,
Yeah,
like,
because
like,
the reality is like there's no we haven't assigned feelings to the situation
Yes.
yet.
That's true.
Right?
Right.
So
That's true.
in most cases the women are like, even if they know it's not going anywhere, they don't like the fact that this man is putting attention somewhere
Yeah.
else.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I should be the only one
Yeah.
like
That's
getting this energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like what's going on? That's what they're more
These
mad
hearts
about.
are my hearts.
Yeah.
Not nobody else.
Yeah.
You should not be using those hearts with anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. But
Yeah.
screenshots are in relationships.
That's
Okay,
a good
talk.
place to yeah.
I got rehab in 45 minutes in Scarborough. So
Sheesh. Okay.
Jeez.
great episode. This was dope.
This is
Yeah.
fun.
Block the screenshots.
Screenshots
But yeah,
for
plug yourself
relationships.
one more time. What you do, your username, where people can
It's-
find you, so we can send some mans your way. Just create some competition.
Okay.
Yeah, light it up.
Anyways, so my Instagram is at Felicia Felicia Jimenez Jimenez. And yeah, I do a lot of different things and I like learning. So if you have something new to throw my way,
She's coachable, guys.
I hate that. I hate that because you were the third person this week to make that comment.
You're
Coachable.
I'm coachable.
Specifically coachable?
Coachable.
You see that?
But also like
They know.
are you an athlete? Were you
Yeah,
former?
yeah.
That's why. Basketball?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
You know,
They're all basketball players.
You know, he's
saying
like
that-
best friends with Warren, right?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you know
Shout
what?
out to Warren. He's my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, that's my. Yeah,
He's
that's my-
super dope.
That's my guy.
That's so funny.
Coachable.
Let's go.
Yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in that other episode. This was a fun one. We went from very dark to very upset to very playful and
Yeah.
very nice. It was a good roller coaster of emotion. Yeah, thank you for coming by. This was a great episode. Thank you for having her, Zamora. And until next episode, and we regular.
Yeah.
We regular again.
Yeah, we are.
This is what? Is this 3 in a row?
3 in a row?
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Trifecta. Until next week, guys. See you.
Peace.
Hello?
We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.